Great. So good morning, everyone. My name is Rotem Geslovich, and I'm the Director of Business Development for the EMEA market at Vayyar Imaging. I'm focusing on our business unit that is called Vayyar Home, that is our intelligent sensors for senior safety. So what I'm going to present to you today is we'll start with the background of the company, so you'll know who Vayyar Imaging is, what we achieved so far, our technology, and then we'll focus on our product for senior care, and I'll dive more into that product. So let's start. So first, who we are. So Vayyar Imaging was founded 9 years ago in 2011 by 3 Israeli founders. Each of them have over 30 years of experience in mobile wireless networks, signal processing, and communication systems. Through the years, as you can see, we released different products with the same technology that I'll show you in 1 second. And we raised close to $190 million from top VCs, venture capitals, and investors. We have over 190 employees at the company. Most of them are based in our headquarters in Israel, but we do have employees in the US and specifically in Asia and Japan, China, and Korea, and we're expanding these days to Europe. We have 30 patents that were granted for our technology in different product lines, and all due to this small radar imaging sensor that you can see here in my slide deck. So what you see here is a radar imaging sensor that works on RF, radio frequency, that basically knows how to send signals and receive signals back from the target and create a 3D image of what's around us. So we're using 72 transceivers, and we have flexible frequency band of between 3 gigahertz to 81 gigahertz. That means that we can apply the frequency band according to the applications that we're trying to achieve. And by using one small sensor, we can kind of save many products that are replaced with our small sensor. Today, we work in close to 10 industries, from automotive to homeland security, retail, and others. I'm just going to focus on our product for the senior care and how we protect seniors and take care of their safety. So I want to start with a few facts about falls among elderly and how common and how can they be prevented. First, 33% of seniors don't report their falls. Second, 80% of falls happen when the elderly are alone. That means that we don't even witness most of their falls. 4 out of 5 elderly can get up without assistance after a fall. That means that they're lying alone on the floor for hours. A long lie, meaning that you're lying on the ground after a fall, exponentially increases the chance of death within 6 months. That's a really upsetting, fact. 20 to 30% of falls in long-term home care are preventable. That means that we can actually help seniors and prevent those falls that are not witnessed. And when we looked at our sensor, we realized that we have 3 really unique capabilities that can really benefit the senior demography, the elderly care market. One, the fact that our sensors are robust. That means that they're not affected by any weather or lighting condition. So even if the senior's room is completely dark or there's steam or fog, we can still analyze and detect the person and detect his falls. Second, it's private. We're not using any cameras or wearables, so no privacy is infringed. We are very much aware of all the GDPR data protection all around the world, especially in Europe. And this is something that is, a really big advantage to our technology. Third, what we call our Superman vision, we actually can see through materials. So that means that if a senior fell behind a curtain in the shower or a chair or even a sofa, we can still detect that fall as if the curtain or chair weren't there. And when we looked at existing fall detection and telecare solution, and I want to ask each one of you if you're familiar, with the pendants and the wearables and the panic buttons, and the cords in the shower. I'm sure most of you know at least 2 of the products, if not all of them. We see different limitations to all these products. One, they're wearable. So that means you actually need to remember to wear them in order to call for help. Second, they're button operated. So that means that you need to press the button to call for help. So if you don't, or you don't have the button like next to you, you can't really call for help. Also, there's the stigma of it makes me feel old. So seniors in general, no one wants to feel old, marked as an old person. And also the fact that it's battery powered, most of the products in the market are battery powered. So it means that you have to charge them every couple of weeks, months. It means that someone needs to do that. So you get a lot of false positives. And the low usage rate, 80% of the owners don't even wear them during a fall, which is even more upsetting if you actually own the device. And last, we felt like overall the market is quite ready for something new, something that will be automatic, easy to use, advanced, and that you don't need to operate or handle on the day-to-day basis. And this is why we launched what you see here in the image. It's called Vayyar Home. We launched it first as a product called Home. And the idea is to have something that it will be hands-free emergency response system. So as you can see here in the components, we have in the front the LED touch display. So you can do all the installation configuration from the screen. And you have the 4D radar imaging sensor that I previously showed you. On the board, on a PCB board with 21 antennas that knows how to send the signals and receive the signals back from the target. And the machine learning component that basically helps us learn the dimensions of the room and the behavior of the person. And last, what we call our two-way communication. So it means that we have a speaker and a microphone inside the device. So once the device detects a fall, it will open a two-way communication. So we can actually speak with the person on the ground. And once we actually install it, we can configure it up to 4 emergency numbers. So these are the components of our first generation. We've been selling this for 2.5 years. And if you look at other products in the market, we can compare this, with, a few categories. If it works automatically, none of the products that are low tech that exist in the market and they're familiar today, they don't work automatic. They don't detect all kinds of falls. They can get the help if the user is unconscious, obviously, and it doesn't require the user to charge it. So two of them you don't need to charge, and 3 don't. And last, if it has the ability to call for help, so all products that are existing in the market have the ability to call for help or send, some message to nurse call system or to any trigger. And you probably ask yourself if it actually can detect all kinds of falls. So yes, we conducted more than 1,200 different test falls, around 17 different fall scenarios. So you can see fast falls, gradual falls, slow falls behind some objects or from a bed, if you fall from your bed. We can also detect, pets and vacuum cleaners were one of the problems that we had at the beginning, because it's quite hard to detect a pet or a vacuum coming, to the room. And this is something that we've been working on for probably two years since we launched it. So, it's really knows how to detect falls and to differentiate between pets and different vacuum cleaners, which is very important. And a few words about the installation process. I don't know if you thought about how do you actually install this product? How does it actually send the signals? So one, you need to connect it to the power and to the Wi-Fi. So if you look at the product in the picture, it needs to be mounted on the wall, then connected to the power and the Wi-Fi, and then to the on the installation process, you need to do 2 additional steps. One, to actually teach the device where you installed it. So tell the device that you install it, for example, in the bathroom, and then you'll need to walk around the room if you're, a person that lives alone by himself in his apartment. And last, to add up to 4 emergency numbers. Obviously, when the flow is B2C, meaning that a distributor sells this directly to consumers that live at home. The distributor either do the installation or the caregiver will do it. It's very simple. And when we actually started selling this directly to consumers. We realized pretty fast that we prefer to sell through distributors and partners of ours. But then in time, we thought that senior care facilities and different nursing homes, retirement housing, assisted living, all kinds of communities where senior live in can really get a lot of value from this product, and not by pairing this one by one only for people that live by themselves. And the idea is that, first of all, we can't really see the identity of the person. So as you can see here, this is how our sensors captures a person versus a camera. So we don't know the identity of the person. But let's have now a facility of 50 apartments, and you want to install a sensor in each room in an apartment. If you're asking yourself how much can one device cover, one device can cover up to 20 square meters. So an average apartment would be probably, I would say, 3 devices per apartment. One in the living room that is usually attached to a small kitchen. If it's in a facility, and then bedroom and bathroom. But again, when you have a facility, how can you actually see what's going on in all apartments at once? And this is why we launched our dashboard. What you see here is a dashboard with many devices. So you have the ability to pair many devices into one screen, and then see exactly the status in each room. So you'll know exactly where each resident is. How do we actually do that? During the configuration, we put the measurements of the device. So if you remember in the previous slide, I told you that for a device that is installed at home, you basically walk around the room and it will build the layout of your room once you teach that this is the bathroom. For a facility, you don't want to walk around each room because it will take you hours to actually do the installation for a full facility. So what we offer is our dashboard that you can put the dimensions of each room. Usually in a facility, you have around 2 to 4 different layouts. Usually there are mirrors also. So you know that each room is 3 by 4, 4 by 5. You have the dimensions. You can easily put that in the configuration. And then you can also add the area of the bed. Why does it matter? Why is it important? First of all, for nursing home or places vulnerable patients, you want to know if they're in bed or out of bed, how do they spend their day, where they are. So you can actually see here in the facility dashboard that here this patient is in bed, okay, because we defined the bed area, so our sensor can detect the presence in bed. Here we see that this patient is in the bathroom. Another example is this patient is out of his room, out of bed, and here the room is totally vacant, so no one is in the room. Why does that matter? When a staff member passes by the dashboard, they can quickly take a look and see where help is needed. So we can save the time of actually checking one by one every hour with patients that don't really need help, while kind of using the time of the staff members for the ones that actually need their assistance. Obviously, once we detect a fall, you'll get an alert in the dashboard of the room details, room number. If you want to add the names of the patients in your facility, you can add the name, the patient name, and where the fall occurred. And at the same time, you'll get a phone call and a text message to up to 4 emergency numbers that you added. I want to pause for a few seconds, minutes here, just to make sure that everything is clear. If you have any questions so far, I'll be happy to answer your questions and then move on. Okay, everything is clear, I assume?
There is one question here.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Just a minute.
Okay.
I just have to get it to show it here.
No problem.
Edler Nielsen or Martin Edler Nielsen, he's asking, wouldn't some seniors be afraid of such product on the wall, thinking it's recording or watching them, even though you clearly state there are no cameras?
So first of all, yeah, we had some dementia patients that were terrified by the voice coming out of the wall, and this is why we actually launched. And I'll show you a quick sneak peek of our next generation that we really feel like this is a good product for facilities. Let me just show you this so you can see. This one maybe will answer your question. So I'll do it by the question. So this is the product that I previously showed you. Just for the reason that you asked, we created a new next generation that we launched this month that looks like a smoke detector. It's a small sensor. It doesn't have the screen, so it's not terrifying. There's no voice coming out of the wall, so there's no speaker and a microphone. What this product can actually do is pretty much the same as this one, a little bit more advanced. So from a technical point of view, we're moving to high frequency band. That means that from a 6 to 8 gigahertz that this product worked, we're moving to 60 to 65 gigahertz. That means that we're getting better resolution and higher coverage. We took out the screen for that exact reason. So you touched a really good point. And also the two-way communication. We wanted it to be as blended to the wall or to the ceiling. So we added the ceiling mounted option as much as we can to make it look invisible. So no one could actually see it or notice it. It basically works with the same flow other than the two-way communication. So once it detects the fall or the pressure, exactly as I showed you in the dashboard, that means that it will have similar functionalities, but a smaller product with two mounting options, ceiling or wall, but also something that is quite good news for all of you is that we cut the cost by half. So we'll talk about pricing at the end, but basically once we took out the components of the screen and the two-way communication, we cut the cost by half, which makes this product much more affordable and accessible in the market, while it's hardly noticed. We also added a few new functionalities to detect the static. We know that if there's more than one person in the room, we know to detect the exact location of the person and not just the presence. And we keep adding more and more features. So I know that I skipped a few slides, but I really wanted you to get like the full answer, if this is something that is bothering you.
Thank you, Rotem. Sure.
I want to go back to the dashboard just to for you to get a better understanding how it works. So when we actually, I showed you that there's a screen with many devices. So you can see it here. How the flow actually works. So you can see actually a 10 seconds video that will see a person walking into the room, and we can detect his presence, and then in the bedroom. So you can see that now Malcolm is in his bedroom. Once he entered to the bed area that we defined in the dashboard, you see that it changed to in bed. Once he leaves his bed, we'll detect it as if he's still in his bedroom. So the room is not vacant yet. And once he's lying on the floor, the dashboard will buzz and get you the alerts as to the fall detected. And with the first generation that I showed you, you'll get a phone call. With the second, you'll get a text message and the alert to the dashboard. Once he stands up, it will cancel the fall, and if he leaves the bedroom to the bathroom, you'll see this also in the dashboard. So this is just to kind of express how the dashboard works. Hope it's clear. Okay. Another thing that I wanted to show you, something that we're working on these days that is coming up in the next month or two, what we call our history per resident. So kind of like analytics about the behavior of the person. What does that mean? When we actually know if a person is in bed or if he's in his bathroom, we can kind of track his usual behavior. If we want to know, this is up to the facility to decide if this is something that they want to provide or get as notifications. That means that, for example, you see here Cheryl Smith, we tracked her number of falls, this week, this month, last month, so we know if she has high risk of falling. The time that she spent in rest during the day and during the night, if she usually sleeps for 8 hours and rests during the day for 2 hours, we want to see if there's any crucial change that might lead to any health deterioration. If she all of a sudden sleeps for 3 hours every night, this is something that a staff member needs to know. Also the bathroom visits, if she usually goes 10 times daily, and all of a sudden we see that she goes 20 times, maybe it means something that we need to check. And last, her nocturnal roam in and out of something bothering her, she doesn't feel well. She's the only person that actually knows this, and sometimes seniors actually forget what happened, during the night. So we want to get this information and kind of provide more help to our residents. So we talked about this, and just to give you a better understanding, again, we don't use any cameras, wearables, or buttons here. Still automatic. That means that once it detects a fall, just to give you a better understanding, it will give you a minute to respond with both devices. So if you're bending over, tying your shoes, just sitting, maybe opening a drawer or doing something on the floor, it will give you a minute to respond. If during that minute you didn't stand up or cancel the fall in the button, so there's the button here and also here, then it will start to send the alert either to the dashboard or to the text message that we're sending up to 4 emergency numbers. Also something that is worth mentioning, because I don't know if each of you have their own software platform, if you see this as a product that can be added to your portfolio of products, connected to your software platforms, it can easily be done. We work with different companies, different partners that have their own platforms. Sometimes they don't want to use our dashboard, and this is completely fine. If you work with a facility that already have their systems, we can integrate to their systems or to your system by sharing our API. I'll be happy to talk with each one of you separately about this, but just take into consideration that using our app and dashboard is not a must. We can definitely connect to different systems and then send all the alerts and notifications to there. One last video that I want to show you, and then I'll wrap up and I'll give you some time to ask questions if something wasn't clear. I want to show you a video that we filmed in a senior care facility. This is a woman that lives by herself in an assisted living. She has three rooms. Actually, it's 1 bedroom, a bedroom, bathroom, and the living room that is connected to the kitchen. We placed 3 devices, and you can see the flow of how it works.
Hi, I'm Jonathan. I'm going to show you what Vayyar Home can do at a senior living facility. You place it on the wall, and it monitors health and safety in each room. It uses no wearables, no cameras, no buttons. It checks if anyone has fallen and immediately calls for help. Vayyar Home scans any room 24/7 for continuous protection. It monitors ongoing activity to prevent falls and alerts you about changes in a resident's health or behavior patterns. It displays all of this on a dashboard that gives you the status on all of your rooms at once, and uses this data to both alert what occurred in any room in real time and provide preemptive indicators of health deterioration. The facility dashboard gives you important data analytics, like when the latest fall occurred, the average response time it takes to get to a resident, and the number of falls that occurred in the facility. Vayyar Home, protect your residents and your facility.